I'm never quite sure what these things are talking about because I can't read any of that. I mean, this picture is a little helpful, but I mean, not so much that one. That one, though, I get where that's going. Hey, so what's going on, people? Some of you guys that have been following me for a while now, and will hopefully continue to follow me in the future, may remember that this time last year, I was running around Korea doing whatever I was doing out there. And even though I wasn't like a huge fan of it, to be completely honest, it had its moments, right? That's actually where I was when I started doing this whole YouTube thing. So I mean, had it not been for that, well, I won't say had it not been for that, but the amount of free time I had, and given that I'm not a super social kind of guy, that was like, well, you know what? Let's do this because this seems fine. And it seems fine still. But yes, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but some good things did come up. Wow, that's a lot of tape. Some good things did come out of it, right? One being, being able to start doing that because I had a lot of time. Another being that I didn't have to pay a lot of money for the shoes that I did get because I was tax free for, as far as Foot Locker and Nike and all those places are concerned. So that was cool. Also, I was able to get a few exclusives like this here, these Ultra Boost Climbers from the 1988 Seoul Olympics. That's what those are to commemorate. There's a review somewhere online. You can watch it if you want. Now, even more recently, there was another Korea exclusive that came out. This is a weird box. There's another exclusive that came out. This one right here, right? And since I'm not there, I kind of had to call in a favor from Korea's top villain. You guys might know her as Brown Eye Soul, so she was kind enough to go through, buy these for me because they didn't sell out over there. She bought them for me, sent them to me, obviously, and I gave her the money to do that, right? Because she's nice, but I don't think she's that nice to just buy people shoes like that. I mean, who's doing that, right? Seriously. But anyway, so I gave her the money. She got me the shoes. Everything worked out. They got here a lot quicker than I expected. They were sent. I mean, it's USPS, right? They do all right. But these were sent out on what, Friday, I think, of last week, and they got here yesterday, so about a week. Then again, to them that would have been Saturday or something. So, whatever. They got here quick. That's the moral of that story, right? And so now that means we can do this here review. So, first off, looking at the box here. Oh, also I got this. Well, I didn't get it, but someone got it for me. This shirt is from Korea also. It's got like the Seoul thing going on, and then it says Seoul at the bottom. Yeah, that's all right. So anyways, here's the box, right? On the top, it looks like they're going for that Seoul flag, or that Korea flag thing with the circle. Kind of like you see on the shoes here. But we'll see. And then on the side, on there, it says Nike Alpha Project. And then on here, same stuff as normal, but in this case, for whatever reason, they switched it up on the Presto sizing, and they went closer to like shirt sizes, to like small, medium, large sort of thing. So these should fit like they're supposed to, because looking at this, it does say, actually it doesn't have a US thing. No, there it is. Yeah, so a men's medium is essentially a men's 9 to 11, which is a pretty wide range of shoe. Like if you think about it, like if I was to put on a size 11 shoe right now, it would look ridiculous. It'd look like Wayne Head, if you guys remember that. If you remember that, cool. You're probably as old as I am. If not, catch up. So, looking on the inside, didn't know that was going to be there, but there's that for you. A little something going on. I didn't really read it. Presto. That's a lot of stuff, man. I'll put up a picture so that way you can read it for yourself if you care. You can pause it, because I don't want to read all that. But now, let's go ahead and get on into these. It's a pair of Prestos, so I'm kind of looking forward to it, you know what I mean? Because I like Prestos. I think I've said that several times before. So, does this have a name on here or anything? I think it was just Red Orbit, but they don't have any color. There they go. White, metallic gold, and black. White, metallic gold, and black. Okay, that's fair enough. But we're going to go with Red Orbit because that's what Nike said. So, that means, ladies and gentlemen, it is now review time on, not that one, this one. On this right here, the Nike Presto in the Red Orbit colorway to commemorate some kind of South Korean baseball team of some sort. Apparently that's where the stripes come from. So, let's go ahead and get on into this. I didn't want to do this one because it's got that tag flopping around over there. It's just annoying. But looking at these real quick, overall, things seem to be pretty nice. They are very much the same. Didn't think there's gonna be anything too different other than the coloring. So that's just to see what all I need to talk about here. But as usual, there will be pictures and all that good stuff. So first and foremost, I guess we're gonna use both of these. Going across the bottom, there you have that, right? So this is pretty much like a standard outsole that you're gonna see on a lot of Prestos. On one you have the blue, on the other you have the red, because again, those are their colors as far as flag things are concerned. What is that? Oh, okay, no, that's fine. So that's how that's working. But overall, nothing too crazy. Then coming up to the midsole, you can kind of see that the color does pop out just a little bit from the midsole, because you know that's how the outsoles work. So there's that for you. And then depending on which one you're looking at, or which side you're looking at, I should say, you're either going to see a blue or a red cage. So there's that also for you. Now moving on to the front of the shoe, around where the toe box is and all that stuff, you have that typical plastic style thing going across the front of it to kind of help keep the shoe safe, help keep it together and all that stuff. It's looking pretty clear, so hopefully that means that when they get scuffed up, because they're going to get scuffed up, it happens. Hopefully that means they don't show up too bad, but time will tell. Also, in case you're ever curious, I did put up a video a long time ago about cleaning up scuff marks, so check that out at your leisure. Moving on, all the way up the rest of the upper, you have this zebra stripe, kind of tiger stripe, whatever thing going on, if you look at it like that. So there's that for you, and that just kind of extends all the way up, right? Because that's just how these shoes are made. They're pretty much that one piece sock upper style thing going on. Very nice material. It's not Flyknit. I forget what exactly Prestos are, some kind of nylon feeling thing, but they're comfortable for that reason. But we'll get more into that in a bit. And then also on the tongue, or on the toe area, you have the Nike swoosh down there. So moving on up, you see there's a little stitching here where the tongue area is, kind of around that, holding that piece of the shoe on. And then you've got these typical black laces that you see on a handful of other things. They're somewhat similar to, I want to say it's foam posit laces, maybe. I know I've seen, when you look at enough shoes, certain things run together. Another thing about the laces, on one tip it says Presto on this side and then 20 years on the opposite. On this one it says instant happiness. So there's that for you. That's on both sides, both laces I mean. All right. But anyways, so and those laces obviously are held down with this cage. Now some people prefer this cage style over the Presto React cage, or React Presto I should say. I don't have much of a preference. I think it's just because I've gotten used to the React Presto cage now. Originally I was kind of on the fence. But these here, you got the same style though. So it's going to be that semi-translucent coloring. So on the outside you have red, on the inside you have blue, so that's how that works. Matching up with these dots that are down here, if you can see those. And so then moving back, you have the same thing going on with the rear cage area. I never really noticed that before, or maybe that wasn't there. I probably just never noticed it before, but yeah, so you've got the rear cage as well, kind of holding on the top laces and giving you something for the back of the heel. Speaking of the back of the heel, there you have that. You have the Korean flag going on. So there's that, kind of a nice little touch in there. The gradient looks to be a little bit off just between the two of them, but it's not a huge deal. It's just not completely centered. But you know, I'm not going to hold that against them. Now, moving up above that, still on the back, you do have the gold metallic metallic gold that they were talking about on this little pull tab. So there's that for you. And one thing that I did overlook is on the front, you have the P for Presto on the tongue area at the very top, similar to what you would see on the React Prestos, but just a little bit different. And with a little Nike swoosh in there as well. Moving on into the inside so we can finish up things. So on this one, you have the M for medium. And then on this one, you have looks like a PO, like a Presto, and then an O for whatever. So I'm not sure where that's coming in. I don't know what the significance is of that, but it's there. If I find out between now and when this video gets completely edited, then I'll put that in there. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to do without. So there's that for you. Now, next thing we do, now that I believe I've wrapped up everything, I guess I'll touch on that. The inside, you can kind of see in there, it's like a bit of a mesh style thing going on. It feels weird to the touch, honestly. So if you're one of those people that wears shoes without socks, which I think is weird, then this might be odd to you. But if you're a person like me that wears socks, not a huge deal. It just feels weird though. It seems like an odd choice. Are you seeing that? You seeing that? I'll make sure you see it. I'll get some pictures in there. So yeah, so now it's time to do the rest of this review, do the sizing part, talk about all that good stuff. So let's get those videos on in here, shall we? Bring those on down, and here we go. Okay, so here's the thing, right? When it comes to wearing these, I was very much surprised that they fit perfectly because, again, that whole sizing thing where it talks about, oh, do you want small, medium, or large, and then medium being 9 to 11, kind of surprised these fit as well as they do. So there's that. True to size fit, even though that size is a little bit odd. So past that, as far as the feel of the shoe goes, if you know anything about the React Prestos, if you've worn a pair of those, the upper is basically the same, right? So how those feel on the top is exactly how these are going to feel because it's the same material and all that stuff. So you've got a nice little bit of stretchiness as you're walking around, your feet feel free. So, I mean, they feel a little too free to consider running in them, but that's just my opinion. Though technically, these do fall into the running shoe category for as far as Nike goes or whatever with their shoes, their labels and categories, but, personal preference. Anyways, so past that though, the midsole is obviously not going to be as comfortable as certain other things, but it's still pretty solid. Now, I was one of those people that always thought that the Presto and the Huarache were more comfortable than something like the NMD, but that's just me. I know everyone has their own take on where peak comfort truly lies and all that good stuff. But these, I'm going to say that while still comfortable, given that these are older and a lot of things newer have come along, there are some other things worth considering out there. But for the price point and all that good stuff, as far as these go, and what they're up against, they still hold their own even after all this time. But again, if you can find something with a React sole on it, like the React Presto or what was that? Those desert, what is that? The React Visions, something like that. I might lean towards that just because they are a little more comfortable. But it's a Presto. It's a good feel. You can't go wrong with it. I forget what the retail price is. I want to say $120, so that's pretty solid in my opinion for something that you can use casually and go to the gym, go shopping, go to work, I guess, depending on what kind of coloring rules your job might have. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty solid shoe. So I don't have any complaints about it. I would recommend it to anybody as long as they can find one that they like, because that's the other thing, visually anyway. So let's see. I want to say that I've now covered everything. Right? So that means that we can go ahead and we can move on about our day and get this video wrapped up so that I can get it out to you guys and you can go ahead and say whatever you want to say in the comments. So there's that for you. All right, one thing I didn't quite mention on the back here, and it's kind of hard to see, but you have this like lined out stitching that's kind of like metallic gold. I didn't notice that before, but I'm not a huge fan of it. So there's that. It matches up with the swoosh and stuff on here and then on that tab, but I just don't like it. But anyway, so that's going to be it for me. I'm done for today, right? Yeah. Not doing that box until tomorrow. So if you want to see another shoe review, come on back tomorrow. Until then, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I will catch up with you guys later. So, later, people.